Hi folks, how are you doing? There we go with yet another world champion as Carlsen's great predecessors. This time it's turn for Mikhail Botvinnik, the great world champion from Russia. He's considered to be the father or the one of the first great Russian players, and really the father of Soviet or Russian chess school, because he had first he was a world champion for lots of years. He was a world champion, started to be a champion in the 30s, and he defeated, and using the rematch system, lots of players like Tal, like Smyslov, until he lost the world championship to Tigran Petrosyan in 1963, I think. And he had a very scientific approach to this game. He was very strong in the openings. He was really very keen on the preparation. He really developed the openings theories in lots of lines, and he was really strong on there. So no surprise it's no surprise that he has lots of miniatures against strong players, very strong players, because he had lots of surprises in the openings that his opponents had to think on the board, and it was not easy. So he was a world champion for lots of years, as I said, defeating lots of strong players. And in this game he's going to play against Rudolf Spielmann, not a weak player in any way. And this was played in Moscow 1935. Now Botvinnik plays c4. After c6, Botvinnik transposes into the Caro-Kann with e4, d5. Exchanges on d5 and now d4, which is going to be called later the Panov-Botvinnik attack. Very enterprising and very which is something considered a very attacking way against the Caro-Kann, creating past an isolated queen pawn on lots of occasions, but having lots of potential of attacking. Now knight f6, knight c3, knight c6, bishop g5. Of course, knight f3 is the other very logical and common move, and here queen b6. Not really the most played move. Now the point is that white is threatening simply on f6 and then having an extra pawn taking on d5. But there are a couple of ways to avoid this, and queen b6 doesn't seem the best way. e6, knight f3, bishop e7 is more normal, I think, although the bishop on c8 is inside the pawn chain. Well, when he takes on c4, he could try to play for e5 eventually, or against the isolated queen pawn. Another possibility is here, instead of e6, bishop f6, bishop e6, sorry, although Karpov, who is a very great expert on this defense on the Caro-Kann, thinks that after taking here, he takes on c5, sorry, white is strategically much better, because this knight, this bishop on this dark square bishop will have a very tough time to get into the play, and although black has the bishop pair, Karpov thinks that white is much better here. So after bishop g5, another possibility is d takes c4. In fact, this was played 2 years before, in 1933, by Salaflor against Botvinnik. Botvinnik having white once again. He had taken on c4, as I said, against Botvinnik, and now after d5, knight d5, a crazy game arose. Queen d4, knight d3 check, takes, and Botvinnik here, lots of times has been played this queen d takes d3, but Botvinnik went on with a very strong move, knight f3, just not taking the pawn for the time being. It's not going anywhere so far, just completing development. And after a couple of moves, in fact, white didn't take the pawn at the end, but he ended up winning the game in a very interesting and attacking fashion. King d8, now queen h4, threatening the pawn on f6. Although the queen is guarding it, it is a threat, it is pinned. Knight e5 is another idea. g5, queen h5, and well, white ends up winning this game without much difficulties. Black king is in the center and white is going to have lots of attack. This was another game, another possibility, which was played by Salo Flor in 1933, taking on c4 first. But okay, queen b6 was played here by Spielmann. Now white is forcing matters. C takes d5, queen takes b2. Seems critical, but knight takes d4 now is already had already been tested as well, and this leads to once again very sharp and double-edged positions. Bishop e3, e5, d takes, bishop c5, e takes f7, king f7. Black should be okay, although it's a very interesting and sharp position. Another possibility maybe is to play knight f3 instead of bishop e3, but okay. This did not happen because Spielmann took on b2, just going for everything, taking the pawns. Now his own knight is under attack on c6, but he's threatening to take on c3 with check and recapture the pawn if it takes on c6. Now rook c1 was played here, protecting the knight. If knight a4, black has a couple of interesting moves. After checking, bishop d2, taking on d4. Now it takes knight e4, threatening to take pawn on f2, checkmating white. So bishop e3, queen b4 check. Well, if that white doesn't want to repeat moves, he has to go king e2. And after b takes c6, black has lots of compensation for the piece. He's going to get his bishop here, and although these couple of pieces are not playing for the time being, white's king is really very weird in the center in this e2 square, and black is definitely going to have lots of compensation. So instead, Botvinnik went for this rook c1 on the 8th move, protecting the knight on c3. Now knight b4. Other moves of the knight don't seem to be very great. Now going to d8, bishop takes, now check. Rook c2, the queen must go away to b4, for instance. Queen e2 check, bishop e7. Now white takes, the king goes to the center, queen g4 check, and black's position is quite miserable. His king is once again in the center. White is going to complete development, and these pawns will be very dangerous for black. So Spielmann went to b4. Now knight a4, attacking the queen. The queen takes on a2. Bishop c4 attacking. Bishop g4 is well, kind of a desperate move, trying to provoke something, but after a normal move like knight f3, black takes, g takes, and black resigns and he's losing a piece. Now the queen is under attack. Where is he going to go? Queen a3. In this case, rook c3 forcing matters, forcing black to, for instance, check here, and after that white will simply take. The other move he can go here to check, and otherwise black is losing the queen on a3. So a very short game. In fact, only 12 moves were played here in this tournament in Moscow between Mikhail Botvinnik and Rudolf Spielmann, in which the Russian champion showed his very deep preparation in all kinds of openings, really surprising his opponent and taking him down in only 12 moves. Hope you liked the game, and thanks for watching.